Hello, everybody. We are sitting here at Stokey Farm waiting for the children to show up. It's a school trip.
I need mine.
The diabetic over here is eating cupcakes for breakfast.
Well, I needed to take a pill.
So
I didn't have water, so
anyway,
I'm a bad diabetic.
I think this video is one of the more important videos that I'm going to put out there because it has to do again with what one of my main topics is that I was talking about, and that is the Torah, God's law, which the big C church, churchianity, modern churchianity teaches was done away with. They say it was nailed to this cross. What? Wait, okay, they're in here. Which was nailed to the cross, brother. Don't you know that was nailed to the cross with Jesus? That is wholly and fully incorrect. In fact, you should read 2 Corinthians, I think it's 14 or something like that. What was nailed to the cross was dogma. It was the Jews' law, their oral tradition, not the Lord's. It's in here. It's in one of these.
We're looking for wipes because I'm a dirty.
Well, it's
we got them! Yay!
It specifically says it was the dogma law, the Jews' oral traditions, not God. Why again?
How confusing.
Why would the Lord take away his own law? Isn't it also churchianity forever preaching that he does not change? It just doesn't make sense. So I'm getting a little off kilter here, but the point of the matter is I do understand why it's very confusing when you're reading like Paul's letters, because it seems like just now in Galatians 4, I think it's 4 or 5, when he's talking to the Jews, and in one sentence he's like, we have to follow the Torah, and then he'll say a couple things, and he's like, does that mean you're justified by the Torah? Certainly not. And that's quite common with Paul's writings. So the one thing I'd advise is Paul is, depending on how you look at it, either a very, very high-level mastercraft, scholar of the Torah, and you need to be very well versed in him and the Torah to understand what he's saying, or he's just a poor writer. I go back and forth between the two. But the point of this video, I hope it's not lost because it's taking me so long to get here. I'm sorry. You have to understand, when Paul uses, and in other places in the Bible, use the Torah in the New Testament, and why it seems like one page is, you have to keep the Torah, on the other page, like, can't keep the Torah and stuff. The term Torah, remember, refers to God's law, the Torah, and the Jewish oral traditions, Torah, the law. Because remember, the Torah just means the law. We're talking about laws here, like New York State law, California law. So it would be like today, someone from 3,000 years from now is trying to read some texts that they found and arguing because, well, this text says that, it's illegal to do X, Y, and Z in New York State, but then someone else says, well, over here in this other place, it says the law says you can do it. And then there's this other thing called the federal law, and they'd be like, what's the law? The law. You gotta understand. It's the Jewish. I thought for a second. It's the Jewish law, Torah, and God's law, Torah. And remember, when these were written back in the day, it was very easy for them to know exactly which one was being spoke about when Paul was like, oh, are you made, righteous by following the Torah, especially when he's writing a letter to the Jews. So they darn well knew he was talking about their oral Torah and not the Lord's perfect Torah. Does that make sense? Does that kind of make sense? So, but that is a major. That's a major.
That's a big discrepancy, and it's really confusing.
It's really confusing for people today.
Like, that's why
because
we can't pass judgments, because it's hard.
Yeah, there's buses are rolling in.
North Star.
Yeah, but I thought they'd be on big buses. They're taking these vans.
Oh, there they are. Oh, look at them.
Oh, anyway.
All right, so we probably should we're going to get rapping. Everybody's
Yo. So anyway, yes, that's why everybody, it's very confusing, and you got to be careful that you got to know. This is why you need to read your Bible and can't have your pastor read it for you and sprinkle in a couple verses. You need to know when Paul or whoever the author is talking about Jewish law versus God's law. That's a big difference.
Peace out.